Tech by Tips.
Hello and welcome to another Tech by Tips video. Today's video is going to be based on a video request, and this video request comes from bflorn, and it says, any chance you could do an updated install video for Seerr as it replaces OverSeerr? So we're going to be covering this. You are probably familiar with the application OverSeerr. We covered it in the channel before, and if you followed my guide and you got OverSeerr working, you probably saw a new message pop up on your application like this one that you see here. At the bottom says update to Seerr, migration available. And in here you get a banner that says OverSeerr is being superseded by Seerr. This project will no longer receive any features or major updates. We recommend migrating to Seerr for continued support and development. And then they give you a link to the migration guide. So what we're going to be doing in this video is we are going to be doing that migration. This applies if you have an OverSeerr running right now and you're going to move from OverSeerr to Seerr. If you're installing from scratch, it's basically the same thing. The only difference is that you're not going to have a folder with stuff already. So it's going to start from scratch, but you can still use it. Now, let's go quickly into the Seerr repository. You can find that in github.com/seerr-team/Seerr. And this basically says, you know, it's an open source media request discovery manager for Jellyfix, Plex, and NB. So what they did here is the team that was creating OverSeerr and the team that was creating the other applications like Jellyseerr, they decided, okay, we're doing the same thing. How about we work together on a single application and we pool our resources into making a better application together? So that's what happened in here. Now, if you were using OverSeerr, now you get some benefits that you were getting from Jellyseerr, which is you can use Jellyfin or Plex or MB when OverSeerr was only basically for Plex. So that increases the amount of things that you can use for your application. If we scroll down, we see that they're in version 3.1.0, 38 releases so far, and they have a good amount of people, 410 people working on this application, so that is very good. The application is in TypeScript written mainly, and basically you already know Jellyseerr and you already know OverSeerr, so there's not a big difference. It's just putting all of that together into one application so that everybody can get the same benefits. It looks the same. It behaves the same. It's just a lot faster in my opinion. And yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So they give you a link to the documentation in here, and they also mention that there is an update to the application. If you go to their official documents, you'll see that here in docs.seerr.dev. They have the explanation that I just gave you about unifying OverSeerr and Jellyseerr into one application, and they're telling you, you know, how you benefit from that. And then there's a section about the migration. So if you go into the migration guide here, it tells you how you can migrate it. It tells you, honestly, it's not very complicated. If the application sees that you had files from Jellyseerr or OverSeerr, it's going to recognize that it needs to migrate, and it'll do the migration the first time that it runs from that folder. So pretty straightforward. They have an example here of a Docker Compose if you need that. So I'm going to be basically using a simplified version of this. I'm not going to put the health checks. It's just going to be straight up the important part of this. An important thing to highlight here is that this container is not in Docker Hub like the latest version. It's in the GitHub container registry. And another thing is that the container runs as the node user, which is the user 1000. So we're going to have to make a change on our Docker Compose file to assign a user that actually can read and write to the folders in the NAS. But it's pretty straightforward. You'll see it right away what we need to do. So now that we know all of that, let me close all of this and we can go to the NAS. In the NAS, I'm going to create a new project, in this case for the sake of the video. So I'm going to call it Seerr, and I need to make sure that I have a path for that. So let me go into the projects. I'm going to create a new project for the Docker Compose file that is going to be called Seerr, and I'm going to go into the containers, and let me delete this one because I already was testing with it. So in here I have the old OverSeerr folder that I had with the previous application. So this is configured to run as OverSeerr. So what I'm going to do here is to show you. I'm going to copy and paste this here. Well, actually, I'm going to rename it. Let's just rename this. And I'm going to rename this to Seerr. So the Seerr folder is going to have all the old stuff that I had from OverSeerr. So we'll see how it upgrades and everything works really nice. Now we have the folder for Seerr, and in here is where we're going to pass the information to the container. So that's all we need. We need the project for Seerr. We're going to put our Docker Compose file, and we need in the containers where we store the data for the containers a folder for Seerr. Now, let's then pick that directory where we created the space for the Docker Compose, which is here, project Seerr. And then we're going to say create a Docker Compose file. I already have it here, so I'm just going to copy this in here, and then we're going to discuss it. So let me put it. Let me do next. Next, don't start it so that we can discuss it, and done. Then we're going to go here in Seerr and go to the YAML. And that is what we are going to do here. As you can see, we have only one container, which is going to be Seerr. And I'm going to be using the official latest version, which is in the container registry. So it's this one in here. I'm going to name the container Seerr. And I'm going to say use the user 1026 group 100 to run the container, because that's the user that has permission to write to my NAS. That's the first administrator account that you create in your Synology, and that's the account that I have given permission to read and write to these folders that I've created. That's why I make sure to put that. Now for the environment variables, I'm going to leave it as debug for now, because we want to see all the information about the migration. But once you have it running, you get rid of debug, put something else like info or something like that. Then my time zone is America, New York, so that's why I put that. And then I'm going to switch the default port that they have, which I think was 5055, for 8078, and I'm going to expose that in the NAS also on port 8078. So left side is the NAS is listening on 8078, and the container is listening on 8078. Then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pass that Seerr folder where I'm going to store all the data that I created previously, and it's going to be mounted into the /app/config directory inside the container, which is where it contains all of that information. And I'm going to say restart this container unless I manually come here and stop it. And that's all that we need here. Then we should be able to save it. In my case, I already saved it, so I'm just going to go here into action and build to build that container. I had already downloaded the image. This was really quick. It says exit code 0, that means everything is good, and we got the notification here. So let's clear that out and now go to the container. We see Seerr is running. We can go to the logs, and when we see here, we're going to see information telling us that it's going to do migrations. As you can see here, it says, yeah, OverSeerr to Seerr migration completed successfully. So it recognized that we were using OverSeerr in that folder before, and then it migrated to Seerr. And then it says we're going to be running version 3.10, and then it checks all the different stuff in the database and all that. So we should be able to see, register notification agents, schedule jobs loaded, and then the server is ready on port 8078. Once we see that, we should be able to go to the IP of the NAS, and then on port 8078, we will see here the login screen for Seerr. So you see now it's Seerr instead of OverSeerr, but it looks very similar. Now, in my case, I log in with Plex, so let me do that really quickly here. Alright, I have logged in, and as you can see, it started immediately, and it's working exactly like I had it when I was in OverSeerr. All my connections are working, so it can see which files I have requested. It knows what things are in the queue that are pending. It gives me the information, what is trending and all that. So everything is looking good. All my connections are perfect. I can see my movies here. It tells me the ones that I have already downloaded, the ones that I have not downloaded and I'm waiting. It gives me the suggestions for series also, and it lets me know if there's anything here that I have requested or downloaded, as you can see. And you can see your requests in here. Right now it's filtering, so if I say show all the requests, you can see all the different requests that I have here as an example. And in here you also see block list. You have the issues here, so you can see if there's any issues. You can see your users and your settings. So everything works as it was working, but now it is Seerr. It's not OverSeerr. And if you were using Jellyseerr, it'll be basically the same thing. Instead of being Jellyseerr, it's going to be Seerr, but you should see everything just like you had it when you had Jellyseerr. So it's pretty straight up, pretty forward. They have done an amazing job of helping people migrate from one application to the other. And as you can see, deploying this was a breeze. It was very easy and everything is working super nice. So I'm going to be putting the Docker Compose example in the reference guides as I usually do. So remember, in the repository, I'm putting everything depending on how I build stuff. If it's in Synology, you'll see a folder with Synology. If it's for Raspberry Pi, you'll see stuff for Raspberry Pi here. If it's for bare metal installations, you'll see it here also. So that is basically how this repository works, and that's how I'm putting all that there. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so, and hit the bell so you don't miss notifications whenever I upload a video to the channel. Also, you should leave me comments in the comment section below. I try to reply to you at least once a week, and when I have time I do it more than that, because as you can see, a lot of my videos come from video requests that you leave me in the comment section. And also, if you're having issues and I can help you out, I try to do it in the comment section, because right now we don't have a Discord or we don't have another way to provide support to people. If the channel grows, maybe we'll be able to get to that point. At this point, it's just that the time restriction doesn't allow me to do that. You should have noticed also there was no ad on my video. So that means that I'm not monetizing the channel. I'm not making any money from YouTube for the effort that I spend into making these videos. So if you like the content and you find them useful, I would appreciate it if you donate to the channel in the link in the description below. There's a link to PayPal. There's also a Bitcoin wallet address if you prefer to donate that way. That helps me to focus on the channel. Like I said, if I can focus on the channel, if I can get support, probably develop more videos and focus more on providing a better way to give you support. Right now I have a job that I have to maintain, which limits my time, so that's why I limit my interaction in the channel, in the comment section. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I hope you liked it. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.